mistaken.
Yeah,
how's everything going so far, man? You're a month and a half out from the big fight. How's training going?
Very good, very good. I had pretty much 6 weeks to just fine-tune everything. So I've made sure that I was in a good place physically, obviously mentally, everything else. To come back over here to Sydney to fine-tune with my coach, Rodney Williams, do some sparring, and then head over to the UK the beginning of March. And I'll be sparring the likes of Nathan Gorman out of Ricky's camp. Cash Ali out of Sheffield. And then also Derek Chisora wants to have a few rounds as well because he's on the card also.
Oh, that's great, man. So
that's great sparring.
What are you working on, Big Daddy? What are you working on as far as anything different, like in your camps? You know, obviously you're going back to the UK. This time, you know, this is a little bit bigger fight than the last time you fought in the UK. Is there anything you're doing different, adding anything to camp that you didn't have before?
Well, I was doing a lot of different things for the Shigeo fight, and I believe that you saw a few different things come out in that fight, i.e., you know, a bit more movement and all that sort of thing. In saying that, I didn't show everything that I was working on, and I have been working on since, so hopefully you'll see a little bit more of that new sort of Big Daddy style. Still want to bring back, make sure that I've got the rough and tough bashing style if need be, but also to show a bit more of the boxer.
Well, Lucas, let me ask you this. I mean, why are you, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're the underdog in this fight. Why the hell is that happening?
To be honest, I don't know. I think it's just because Dylan has the rankings. He's ranked number 1 in WBC, and he's in the top 5, I believe, in the other ones as well. So just the fact that he has the rankings and I've been inactive, or very inactive over the last 3 years. So in that regards, I think that's why. In saying that, I don't think it's a very smart fight for him in any way whatsoever. To have that number 1 rankings and the belt, to possibly go for a world title fight, why would you then want to fight one of the biggest punchers in the division? I think it's quite silly, to be honest.
I'm right there with you, man. It's been kind of ugly between you and Dillian. Why is there so much animosity there? You think is he just trying to sell the fight, or is this real?
I believe it's a bit of both. I think he does sell the fight, but I think he's just a dickhead in general. I believe that a lot of people... Sorry. I believe, some people have to sort of convince themselves that that's who they are, and I believe he's one of those people. I know exactly who I am. I'm just an ordinary guy who's actually very good at knocking people out, and people like to see that. That's great. But with him, I think he has to convince himself that he's someone that he's not, or someone that he wants to be, so to speak. So he does do it to sell the fight, yes. But at the same time, I think it's a little bit more self-convincing on his part.
Do you think he's underestimating you? Do you think that he thinks you're 38 years old, you're kind of long in the tooth, and do you think that he's just, he's not impressed with you, and basically he's just looking past you?
I think from his point of view, yes. From my point of view, I'm not exactly. Yes, I'm 38, but I've only been boxing for like 5-6 years, and as I said, the last 3 years have been very inactive. So I've got a lot to give. There's a lot still in the tank. And I haven't been beat around the head all these years. So I'm still very fresh. I can hold a conversation, as you can tell. And there's a lot of power to give as well. So I believe I've got a good 4 or 5 years at least to sort of give a good showing and make some good money as well.
Well, Dillian Whyte's only loss was against Anthony Joshua. He competed well, but then he faded late in the fight. Do you think this fight could compete with that fight? Do you think it could go that way? And do you think that the size is going to be a big difference? You're only 1 inch shorter than Joshua, and actually you're a little bit heavier than him. Do you think that's going to be a major player in that fight?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a mix between the Joshua fight and the Chisora fight. I believe he will want it, and the crowd also would want it to be like the Chisora fight, where basically we just stand in front of each other and punch shit out of each other. But that's generally what people want to see out of heavyweight fights. I'm not going to be that stupid as to stand there and trade like that, but at the same time, I do want to engage. So I think from my end, it'll be a mixture of both Joshua and Chisora, how they approached Dillian Whyte. In saying that, I think it's going to end in a knockout. I don't believe it'll go to a judge's decision. I don't like judges' decisions. I like having a defined, I won because he's out on the canvas sort of thing. So for me, I'm definitely going to be looking at getting a knockout.
The division is so deep right now. Frank was high on the heavyweights when they first started coming up when Joshua only had a couple fights. He was so high on it. He said, man, this division is going to be one to watch. I've been watching you for a long time. Big fan. But who, in your opinion, right now, I'd say the top 3-4 heavyweights right now, who do you like? Who are the best in your division?
I still think that Tyson Fury is the best at the moment. Just it's unfortunate how everything sort of happened. If he gets one or two fights under his belt and then fights Joshua, I still believe he beats Joshua. Aside from that, I think Joshua's still the best, most polished. Got the good team behind him and the machine running behind him as well. So that's always a massive plus to have a good team behind you in boxing. In all honesty, pretty much Wilder because of the fact that he has the power. I don't think he's the best boxer at all, but when he does hit you, you stay hit. So for me, I'd say top 3 would be Tyson Fury, Joshua, and Wilder.
Well, it's ironic to me. Yourself, Joseph Parker, being around New Zealand, Australia, guys like yourself, both you guys have a lot of admiration for Tyson Fury. Do you consider yourself a purist in the game? Do you watch boxing and do you like just pure boxing?
I like heavyweight boxing. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't watch anything other than heavyweights fight. I just don't have an interest in it. So from that angle, yes, I do like the fact that you have boxers that can punch. At the same, so someone like an Ortiz, where he's a left-hander, southpaw, but can actually move and can box. I like that, and I think that Tyson Fury, being 6'9", awkward as hell and long, but can actually control it. I think that's something special.
My last question to you right now, like I mentioned, Joseph Parker, big fight against Anthony Joshua. Belts on the line on both sides. Who do you like in that fight and why?
I think it sort of goes two ways. If it goes close in terms of close quarters fighting like Joshua did with Takam, I give more of a chance to Parker. But if it does stay long, I give it more to Joshua. So at this point, I'm thinking more of a 60-40 split towards Joshua because he is longer and just that little bit more polished.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Lucas. I appreciate that. Andre Rozier is on the line, co-host. Andre, you have any questions for Lucas Browne?
I certainly do. Hey, LB, let me ask you a question. This is the other bout that will be taking place, Wilder and Ortiz. Who do you think wins that fight?
I think personally that Ortiz will outbox Wilder, but Wilder will come away with the win because of that power knockout. I think he's going to catch Ortiz coming in, and once he lands that right hand, it's good night.
Man, I want to see Lucas Browne versus Deontay Wilder. That is a fight I want to see.
I want to see Lucas against all these guys.
Hell, but entertaining.
What's
Lucas,
that, champ?
let me ask you a question. Lucas, let me ask you a question. Going back to the Dillian Whyte fight, any concern with home cooking? The judging over there. Any concern with if it goes to the decision that maybe the judges will favor Whyte? We've seen it was a close fight when he fought Chisora, but he was the house fighter when Chisora and Whyte fought, and they thought it could go either way. I know you're going to do your best to leave it out of the judges' hands, but is that a concern going over there?
It is always a concern, no matter where you go. Obviously, Chechnya was the deal for me. I've made sure that there's judges from other countries as well. That was part of the contractual deal, that the judges were from other places. But no matter what, that's always a major concern, going into a fight like that. So, again, that's why I don't like judges' decisions. I don't like having my life, my career, and my family's future in the hands of three other people that may have seen it differently the way it was. So I believe a knockout is essential.
Perfect. Hey, when you mentioned Tyson Fury, he hung up. We had a caller who's a big fan of yourself and big fan of Tyson Fury. I think he's getting a little cold feet in there. He hung up again. So I know he wanted to get on there with. So the plan is, I know you don't want to look past Whyte. Obviously, the 24th of March is the next up. That's the focus. That's the bullseye. But what is your ultimate goal? Yep. What is your game? And I don't want to say your game plan, but what is your plan? What is your future plan? Yep. Obviously you got Dillian Whyte. Did they say anything about you fighting maybe Joseph Parker, maybe even Tyson Fury or anything like that? Has there been any talk? Once you get through Whyte, this is on the table. In all honesty, there hasn't been any talks of anything, no. In saying that, I believe I'll take a lot of good rankings off Whyte if and when I beat him. Obviously, have the silver title as well. But for me, all I want to have is I want to make sure I have good fights, competitive fights, and actually make some money. Legit make some money and look after my family. So that's the main thing on my agenda. Obviously the big money is Anthony Joshua. So I mean, of course I'm assuming that's the ultimate goal. Yeah. Yeah. He's the new Klitschko. He's the cash cow at the moment. So everyone's gunning for that because that's the money maker.
You speak the truth. You definitely speak the truth, Lucas. I think you're a very, very live dog in this fight. I think the odds might be kind of screwed up, because of Dillian Whyte being in the UK. But you know what? You got that eraser. Russ and Chagayev found that out ahead on all three scorecards. Yeah. Got blitzed in the 10th round, dropped you in round 6. That was a hell of a fight. Ever since that, I've always been a fan, but ever since that fight, I'm like, you know what? This guy can never be underestimated. You just can't do it. You can't underestimate Lucas Browne. And when I heard this fight was happening, I knew that there's a good chance that eraser was going to happen. He might be up on the cards, but you know what? Right. You got that eraser, and, man, I'll tell you what, I am so excited to see this fight, and I wish you the best of luck, man. I think you're going to do great. And come to America, come to the States, Lucas. We would love to have you here. You would be embraced, big time in America.
Yes, we got to get you fighting here.
Yeah, there was talk of me fighting Brazil instead of Whyte. So it's definitely on the cards, and it definitely should be happening very soon.
I can't wait.
I
cannot wait.
There we go. Lucas Browne, man, we appreciate your time. Once you get through Dillian Whyte,
Rufus is back on.
Oh, is he? Yeah, but I don't think does Rufus. If he hangs up again, Rufus.
You on? Rufus.
Why do you get cold feet? Just Rufus. Just say Lucas Browne. Lucas Browne is one of he's one of the top fighters in your division. He mentioned your favorite fighter, Tyson Fury. Just say hello, man. This is how many opportunities. He's coming on the show all the way from Sydney, Australia, man. How often do you get to talk to an undefeated world champion in Big Daddy Brown?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I've been having technical issues with my phone and shit. Keeps dropping and shit. So I apologize. I hope Lucas Browne, wins the fight. I'm really tired of Dillian Whyte talking all this shit. And I hope he gets back the title. It's the WBC Silver Heavyweight Championship. Bring it home.
I got one. I do have a question.
Thank you very much.
Are you concerned with Dillian Whyte, his head size kind of being small, and you landed a big punch on him? Because he has a small head, man. He really does.
For his body, he does have a small head. That's correct. In saying that, though, if you go the body, then the head's bound to open up, sort of thing. So even if he ducks down, he's going to run into something. So I think the plan will be initially sort of go at the body, whether that be the chest or the shoulders or anything, and we'll work out the range and distance from there.
Well, thanks, champ. I appreciate that.
All right, Lucas Big Daddy Brown, we appreciate you, man. Obviously follow the champ on all social media platforms. He's not hard to find. And the 24th of March, going at the O2 Arena, main event. And I can't wait for the fight, bro. We're rooting for you. We wish you the best. And like I said, look forward to having you back on the show after you bring it home, my man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, fellas. And, I'll definitely do a job on him because he needs to be knocked out.